to Jimmy Johnson. And yeah, maybe, says Big L. Jimmy Johnson, maybe. You can go back to that too. But I also want to see him be creative. Be creative. Stop doing the same plays over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We know that definition by now. We should all know this, understand it, love it, because it's the truth. It's the truth. There's been numerous times that you watch Cowboys games and you're like, there's no creativity here. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. The last one is allow Dak to be Dak. Allow him to run. Allow him to pass. Allow him to just and also have time. We're going to have to figure out what's going on with this offensive line. We're going to have to adapt and figure out what this offensive line needs to be better, because you cannot have Dak with 1.5 seconds to try to figure out what he's going to do. That's not good for anybody. That's not reliable football for anybody. So there's a lot of things that they need to improve on, but these are 5 things that I would, if Kellen Moore can do these things, I think we have something here. And Chalk at Hefe says the Cowboys needed a change. You're right. They did. Kellen Moore was not it. They truly did need a change. And at this point, the decision's already been made. He is the offensive coordinator. So at this point, I just got to say, hopefully it works out for the best. Can't go back and change it. They will not go back and change it. Dak is move of Big Ben QB better when moving the pocket. True. And the other part of this is that I think we all need to accept, all as in Cowboys fans or whoever, is that Dak pushed for him to get this job. So to me, that means they have some type of a good relationship. To me, that means that they have some type of relationship that would cause for him to push for him to get this job. So enough with the Cowboys news. I do have one other thing. Rest in peace to Wade Wilson. Wade Wilson was a backup in Dallas. Wade Wilson was also a quarterback's coach in Dallas. He passed away on Friday, which was also his birthday. It doesn't really get any more saddening than that. You pass away on your birthday. Every guest that I will have on the show today, I will ask them who were they picking, Rams or Patriots. So I'm going to give my pick first, and I'm going to say Rams. That's who I got to win the Super Bowl. That's who I want to win the Super Bowl, and also because I don't want the Patriots to win. Just let me be straight up honest in what I'm saying. Shout out to my man Joseph Young. He will be coming on the show in about 10 minutes. The saying of those who can't do, teach applies here on Kellen Moore. Dak is more of Big Ben. I agree with you on that, Big L. Move in the pocket. Also, you look at when there's changes that has to be made, it is uncomfortable. This was probably an uncomfortable change, but also I think this is going to put more pressure on Jason Garrett. In my opinion, this is going to put more pressure on him, which he has not had any pressure. But they did not sign Jason Garrett to an extension, which to me means they don't have full confidence. Jerry's not afraid to spend money. This organization is not afraid to spend money. They do it consistently. So for the fact that they did not sign him, or that they have not re-signed him yet, that means to me that they want to see what he's going to do this year. Shout out to Melvin in the building, executive producer of the X Squad. Also, my man Courtney Harden in the building. Garrett is cooked unless he wins the Super Bowl. Lame duck. Yeah. Now, I don't know if he makes it to the conference championship game. I think that they would still keep him on. Shout out to Shelly Beth Foster Q in the building. Let's move on to more topics here. We're supposed to have my man Tyjun Mack on the show. He's on West Coast time, so I'm assuming he's probably asleep. So if he happens to call in, maybe too little too late. But shout out to my man Julius Peppers, who retires. Not only is Julius Peppers one of the best defensive players of all time, Julius Peppers is also a North Carolina Tar Heel alumni. So I've got buku's amount of love for Julius Peppers. I will always be a fan of Julius Peppers. I remember him playing basketball for North Carolina and playing football at the same time. Julius Peppers is that dude, and he has decided to retire and move on from football, from the NFL. On to the NBA. We know the Anthony Davis situation is going down. It's going down. You got Anthony Davis's pops talking about he doesn't want to go to the Celtics. You have the Lakers trying to call the Pelicans, Dell Demps, the GM, and he's not answering the phone. This is drama to the 15th degree, and I love it. I love it. I love this drama because, one, it gives me stuff to talk about, but two, it brings up a lot of things before the trade deadline. Shout out to my man Mo Cheese in the building. Courtney Harden says Garrett at least has to make the NFC Conference Finals. I agree. But to me, that they have to win it. I think they have to go there and can play convincingly. The greatest says offensive line issues. Chocolate Hefe says a game changer when he first entered the league. I believe he's talking about Julius Peppers. So this Anthony Davis situation is getting more and more interesting. Rumors going around Klay Thompson interested in going to the Lakers, which could also help with the Anthony Davis situation. Anthony Davis is also interested in the Knicks. Then that brings up a conversation of Kyrie possibly wanting to go to the Knicks, saying, I don't owe anybody jack. To me, this is sports talk right here. When things come up and things happen, I'm at work and I'm beyond excited. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to hook up the mic to my computer at work so I can go live, because there was so many things going on at the same time. NBA is the biggest reality show, says Courtney Harden. I agree with you. It is. NFL, all sports really, but specifically NBA and NFL, is full-time drama. It is full-time drama, but it's entertaining drama. It really is. So here's some of the packages that are being available for Anthony Davis. The greatest says if that trade goes through, Klay and Kyrie coming to LA. Hold on. Kyrie, you think Kyrie's going to go to LA? I don't know. But if it does happen, there is a story out there as well talking about Kyrie and LeBron interested in meeting back up again. But the package for Anthony Davis, what it looks like is it would have to be Kuzma, Zubac, Lonzo, Graham, and a pick. Now, that's a lot to give up. That is a hell of a lot to give up. It truly is. But to get Anthony Davis, a generational player, I'm really on the fence if it's truly worth it or not, because you're going to get greatness back. You're going to get someone that's already great. You're not going to get one that's trying to be great. You're going to get someone that is already a great player. I agree that is too much. I agree with it in what the greatest is saying. So it is a tough decision for them to make. Hopefully they can finagle this some other way. But I think they are all in. I think they were all in, chips in. They're not willing to shy away from this deal. I think they're going to make the deal no matter what. I like Lonzo. I think Lonzo is a nice up-and-coming player. The one that I really don't want to let go in this deal is Ingram. Because I think Ingram is the X factor, and he could be a KD one day. Also, Kuzma, who's been a surprise player. But I do think those guys are replaceable, though. That's what I'm thinking. Those guys are replaceable. They're young, but they are replaceable. You could probably get someone else to fill in those spots. So, time will tell. Courtney Arms says, and there was a package of Rondo, Ball, Kuzma, Beasley in a first-round pick. I will be more inclined to go in that direction. Courtney says LeBron is the puppet master pulling all the strings. I guarantee you, LeBron, Magic, and the GM, I think his name is Pelinka, all three of them are sitting down and making these decisions. I don't think this is only LeBron. I don't think this is an only Magic. I don't think this is an only GM conversation that they're having. All of these guys, I think, are all in on this deal. If this is your first time tuning into the BS3 Sports Show, first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you want to join in on the show chat room, click on the comment box or bubble on XWAD Radio. You can join in on the conversation. Create a profile by using your Twitter, your email, or your Facebook. You can join in on the conversation with the people in the chat room. So, another part of some news from yesterday, Melo gets waived by the Bulls. Now, what does that mean in this scenario? I mean, maybe Melo comes to the Lakers too. Then you're losing these young guys. You're going to have an older veteran team that you didn't have before. And I think Melo going to the Lakers is definitely a possibility. Melo going to the Heat is definitely a possibility. Melo going to the Nuggets is a possibility. But the NBA, it's not even the trade deadline hasn't arrived yet. Trade deadline is on the 7th. So we will see what happens. But I think there's going to be a very interesting trade deadline coming up. But Melo didn't even get traded. Another trade that came up that we'll be talking about later on in the show as well. Kristaps Porzingis, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr. is traded to the Dallas Mavericks. I like this trade, but the caveat is you have to be able to keep Porzingis. Porzingis has 1 year left on his deal. You have to be able to keep him. If you're not able to keep him, this deal was bad. And they gave up 2 first-round picks. Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews is traded to the Knicks. Now, the Knicks have 2 players in the same draft that both play point guard. Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank the Tank, or Frank the Nick, or whatever they call him. Frank Ntilikina, who is still on the Knicks team. So I don't know how that lineup's going to work. I don't really understand. But the Knicks are all in for Kyrie, all in for KD. Will they be able to get either one of them? That is the $1 million question. A shout out to Tiffany PNP. Thank you for tuning in. But will they be able to get either one of those guys? Because if they're not, this situation will not work out. So we got our first guest up on the line. Our man Joseph Yun. He's also in the chat room as well. Joseph, how's it going today?
Good. How about you?
Doing good. Glad to get you back on the show. you were at the Senior Bowl, practices,